Felicity, you have failed these omelets. Hey everybody, this is David, and... Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Okay, there we go. Now, let's continue. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about Arrow, Season 4, Episode 1, Green Arrow. And that is right, Oliver Queen has finally announced himself officially Green Arrow. So that makes a lot of fanboys happy, just by adding a color in front of the word Arrow. So what happened in this episode? First of all, we see Oliver and Felicity. They are living their new life after the finale of last season, the lackluster season finale. And yeah, it was really cool seeing Felicity and Oliver in this new life, and it's a little bit more of a cheerful life. So for those of us that are used to seeing Oliver always frowning all the time, it was nice to see him smiling a little bit more and joking a little bit more as much as he can anyways, especially with that scene where he was with his neighbors, I guess. I found that scene a little funny. There was some really nice, funny moments. It was nice seeing Felicity back as her old self. But little do we know, Thea and Laurel and Diggle are having some trouble with some new villains back in Star City. That's right, it's Star City now because the city decided to change its name, as Ray wanted it to be changed to. And so that's, things are starting to becoming, what they are in the comics, because in the comics, it's not Starling City, it's Star City. So that's been always the goal of the show, was to evolve the show into what it's becoming now. And it was cool seeing Diggle, Laurel, and Thea try to, fight these new criminals without Oliver's help, the ghosts. That's what these new guys are called. And it was nice seeing that dynamic between the three of them. I think it was interesting watching Thea, having fun with her abilities, having fun fighting crime, because we didn't get to see that side of her towards the end of the season finale, because she was just kind of thrown into it. But she had the skills to fight, so it makes sense that she would be part of this team now. And yeah, I really enjoyed that stuff going on. And then obviously Thea and Laurel decide, you know what, we're gonna need some help. So they go to Oliver and get him out of retirement to help out with this, this trouble. But Diggle isn't too happy with this. He's like, I'm still pissed off at you for what you did last season. And Oliver, he's very understanding about this. He's, taking it pretty good. But yeah, Diggle is a douchebag in this episode. Not a douchebag, but like, he is being kind of rough. But he kind of admits it later that, like, it's not really the reason of what Oliver... That's part of it, but it's not the full reason, and he's just going to need time to get over it, because Lila gives him a good little talk that, hey, look, you're blaming Oliver, but maybe the truth is you should be blaming yourself. And Diggle does struggle with that thought of it. We also get the new villain of the season, Damian Dark, who is the leader of this, organization called the Ghosts, I think they were calling them. And Damian Dark is a supernaturalist, it looks like. He's very into mysticism, and Oliver knows this. He's had experience with it, which we are going to learn about in the flashbacks, which I'm very curious about, especially since Amanda Waller in the flashbacks is recruiting him to go on a mission, and that will probably involve the mysticism part of it. So I'm very curious to see what the flashbacks are going to give us this season, especially since last season, as a whole, I felt the flashbacks were some of the weakest aspects last year. So I'm hoping this will maybe bring a more interesting side of it. Also, some people pointed out that there was a Hal Jordan reference in the bar scene with Amanda Waller, where apparently you see a guy with a jacket on, with the name Jordan on it. And I missed it. And it was a green jacket too, so it was a Green Lantern reference. What does that mean? I have no idea. But we also got a couple of Cord Industry references. For those of you that know the comics, Ted Kord is the Blue Beetle, the original Blue Beetle. So does that mean, and this is more Kord industry, references than we usually get. Usually I think like maybe it was just reference ones, but they were referencing Kord Industries quite a bit in this episode. So I'm wondering if if they're building up to something with all of this. I have no idea, but I'm interested to know that. I think they said they weren't going to do Blue Beetle. And the whole reason of bringing in the Atom last season was because they weren't allowed to use Blue Beetle. So unless they're just allowed to use the names, I have no idea. So it will be interesting to see if anything does come out of it, which I'm not gonna get my hopes up on that, on either that or Hal Jordan. I think it was just a nice little Easter egg that the writers and producers threw in there, similar to the Harley Quinn thing back from season 2. Obviously, Lance is back in this episode, and Officer Lance or whatever status he's at now. Lance is, he's still not too fond of the Arrow being back and all that. He kind of gives Oliver a similar talk to what Diggle told Oliver, like, dude, you were a dark guy before. I don't believe you can change your ways. But Oliver is very persistent on changing his ways and showing people, no, you know what? I want to be a symbol like Barry. He didn't say that, but clearly it seems like that's where they might be going with it. He wants to be a more lighter, friendlier character. You know what was cheesy, though, about this episode? There was that one scene where Black Canary, Laurel, rescues that kid. And the kid is like, wow, you're strong. And I was like, oh my god, did they... No. Stop it. Go away. That kid was dumb. But... I mean, for the most part, I thought the episode was pretty solid throughout. I thought, the action was pretty cool. I felt I like the fact that Cisco was referenced as the one who created the new suit for Oliver, which the new suit looks pretty cool too. It's much more greener than the original Arrow suit. I'm gonna admit I'm already kind of missing the original suit, but whatever. We'll grow definitely accustomed. I do like this new suit. I'm just already kind of missing the old one in some sense. So I don't know. What did he do with that old Arrow suit? Throw it in the garbage or something? Who knows? There was also that little scene with Barry and Oliver at the very end, where they were both at a cemetery together, and they were both looking down at a gravestone. This scene was indicated to take place a couple months later, it looks like. And they don't show us whose name is on the gravestone. So this is probably going to be what the rest of the season is going to be leading up to. Most likely, I think it will be revealed by the time the crossover happens, because we know there's an Arrow and Flash crossover coming later on in the season towards the end to help set up Legends of Tomorrow, right? So I think it will be the mid-season finale where that will all be revealed. So I am looking forward to that. If I had to guess who, I have a feeling it's going to be Diggle. That's the one that's going to be killed off, because Felicity would be too easy by this point. And I had to think, well, whose funeral would Barry come to? It has to be someone that he's close to, and we haven't seen Barry interact with Laurel or Detective Lance very much. And with Felicity, it would make perfect sense, but also with Diggle, because Barry has already had a little bit of interaction with Diggle. I don't think they'll kill off Ray, because he's obviously going to be in Legends of Tomorrow. I think by this point, especially the way Oliver and Diggle's friendship is right now, for some reason I feel it might be Diggle, and that makes me a little nervous because I like Diggle. But right now, I mean, they're the two alpha males right now, and there can only be one. Can there? I don't know. Can they split the job at leading the team? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting who's the one that's going to be axed, and why aren't they going to use the Lazarus Pit? Because we know Sarah is coming very soon, and the Lazarus Pit is going to be playing into there. Because they also kind of referenced that, they kind of hinted that Zoom might have been the one to kill whoever that was. So I don't know. There's a lot of burning questions there that I am really looking forward to seeing the rest of the season come into play. And now we know why Constantine will definitely come later on early in this season, because Constantine is good with supernatural elements, and clearly Damian Dark is a supernatural villain that you need someone like Constantine to come help out Green Arrow. So I'm hoping he'll stick around for a couple of episodes, but as far as we know, it's only one. So, but guys, I don't know. I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really nice comeback, especially after the lackluster ending of season 3. I felt that was a little weak. So it was nice having a refresh. This did feel like a refreshment, nice fresh air, you know, coming back into it. It felt like an all new season. We didn't have to worry too much about the past. There were still some references to the last season, obviously callbacks, and for what it was worth, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a good episode. Not great, but it was good. And I'll take good over, you know, meh any day of the week, you know. So tell me what you guys thought. Did you think the episode was good? What are your theories? Who do you think is the person that, you know, whose name is on that gravestone? I'm curious to know what other people think. And did you catch that Hal Jordan reference? Because clearly I didn't, because I'm slow. And I don't know. Until next time, guys, I guess that's it. And subscribe to my channel, because I will be reviewing every episode of Arrow and the Flash, hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, and this season. And yeah, I guess that's it. Until next time, take care.